Hello boys and girls, my name is Hotsti and welcome to this section of the Kayak Whitewater Guide to Greece. Crossing the toll bridge over the Gulf of Corinth at Patras brings us north. While there are few rivers nearby, I will skip over them. The Evinos on the section we paddled it is not terribly difficult or exciting, save the slalom course at Valechomandra. The high water level Creek Fidakia I don't know, and the difficult Mornos we have never paddled. So let's skip ahead to the beautiful Krikellopotamos. The put-in is reached through Domitsa. The way to the put-out is long and goes through Karpenisi, another ski resort, to the bridge near Karitsa. The Krikellopotamos, which actually means heel-shaped river, requires at least medium water levels. So if you find the Evinos, which lies on the way there, has not sufficient water, then a side trip to the Krikellopotamos is most likely wasted time. At this point you might have figured out a common pattern: wood and snakes. For the Krikellopotamos, it's wood again. In the autumn of 2014, a huge surge flowed down, changing the whole river, leaving a washed-out riverbed and huge mounds of wood. As there are several narrow canyons, we were very apprehensive and arranged with our shuttle to meet us at the first bridge downriver, which is right before the first gorge. As you can see, some of the wood was deeply buried in the riverbed by the power of the water. The flood ripped away all the vegetation on both sides of the riverbed, leaving blank washed rock in place. Due to these changes, it is hard to match up the first few spots from Franz Bettinger's description with what you actually find. This could be the giant steps or something entirely new. Because of the washout and the low water level of about 4 cubic meters per second, the river is very shallow. However, it still allows you to roll in places, which I have not seen until I checked out the video material afterwards. At times you really have to figure out the best path between all the rocks, and even then you are often stuck on a rock or a gravel bank. When reaching the bridge, our shuttle guys were nowhere to be seen, and looking at the bridge it was also clear why. While it was still standing, there was no road on either side and the wood was piled up on the bridge. With the trip until here, we felt safe that wood would not directly clog up the river, as the water level of the flood carrying the wood downward was much higher. And so we carried on. At the second bridge, which is an alternative put-in for low water levels, the most beautiful section begins. First, however, you have to master this labyrinth cataract. While I was aware it was coming, I did not get out to scout it, and so it was a real adrenaline kick to figure out the route through it. Mostly it was just going with the water flow and making sure to turn the boat quickly enough to not get stuck on any of the rocks. As we did not take a look beforehand, I got quite an earful down in the eddy from my co-paddlers. As apparently the route through this before the flood was more straight, the one who was able to recall it tried to take that route with moderate success. High above the canyon entry, a footbridge spans over the chasm. Franz Bettinger named this the Puff Pastry Canyon due to wildly folded thin rock layers. Within that canyon, one of the most beautiful sections of all rivers in Greece can be found. In the Jurassic Park, waterfalls in different colors announce the beginning of big overhangs covered in moss with water flowing down, creating a primeval vibe. After the end of this canyon, one has reached the halfway point, or a bit more. There are many more gorgeous canyons and small cataracts to come, but compared to the previous few kilometers, it's not that special. In order to get to the end of this 20 kilometer long section, one has to pedal on.